Whether the United States brings in very serious sanctions or whether the European Union discusses economic sanctions against Turkey, or will you carry on regardless?
Well, I think, first of all, we have to be very clear why we're undertaking this operation. There's been so much misinformation, I think, in Europe and in the United States about why Turkey is doing this. And we've been very clear about why we're doing this. We have the only consistent policy with regards to Syria from the very beginning. First of all, we said we would never allow a terror corridor on our border.
This is creating a terror corridor.
No, we're not. Let me finish. You asked me a question. No, you asked me a question. You have to let me finish. Now, we are not creating a terror corridor. It is already there. They've been using the vacuum, the YPG, which is equivalent to the PKK, which is a terrorist organization, as recognized by the United States and the European Union, is attacking our civilians every day. We have taken the brunt of this terror as much as we can, and we have been willing to work with our allies in trying to eliminate this very serious security threat on our border, but it has not worked. So at the end, we have had to take matters into our own hands under Article 51, which is our right of national self-defense. And even today, there have been attacks by this terrorist organization on our civilians. 8 civilians, including a 9-month-old baby,
you're bombing them. What do you expect them to do?
But no,
you're killing their children.
No, because because we are fighting with the terrorist organization, not the Kurds. Do you know that 300,000 Kurds who have fled from YPG and ISIS are now in Turkey because they are here, because we are looking after them? Can I ask you which European country, has taken in 300,000 Syrian Kurdish refugees? We care about the people in northeast Syria.
Right.
That's why
you are releasing terrorists into that corridor because ISIS fighters are being released. You have facilitated terrorism in Syria for years and years because you have worked with these groups. You have allowed them to go through your border and bring weapons and resources.
You cannot say that.
Well, there are as many allegations against you as there are on the other side. Well, you also have to listen to my question. So what I'm saying is, if you're releasing ISIS fighters into that area, what are you achieving?
And that is a lie. We are the one country that has suffered more from ISIS terrorism than any other country. We are the one country that has actually cleared ISIS terrorism from North Syria more than any other country single-handedly in the coalition. We cleared 2,000 square kilometers of area in North Syria from ISIS. We have suffered more ISIS attacks than any other country in the coalition.
Now, it's very unfair
for you to actually parade this kind of lies that we're bringing in ISIS fighters. This is absolutely shameful. Have some respect for the people who died in Turkey from ISIS terrorism. Have some respect for our soldiers who died fighting ISIS in Syria. This is a terrible lie that you're telling us.
How have they got across the border?
Sorry?
How's it all got across the border? The men and material.
I can't hear you.
How have all the men and material that have been waged in Syria for years got across the Turkish border?
Well, look, I mean, this border was porous from the beginning, and we did ask help to man it, and we didn't get it. We asked specifically from the West for intel sharing on this matter, and it came, unfortunately, too late. But once it did come, we have expelled more than 7,000 ISIS suspects from Turkey. We've actually had control centers. We've been processing these people more than anybody else in the coalition.
Okay.
But did we get the help in the beginning? No.
Let me come back to that question I began with, though, which is about the international response. You know, America has played it both ways. On the one hand, it said you were going to do what you always were going to do. Then it said it would crush your economy and now threatens sanctions. So we don't know what President Trump really thinks. But Europe is also threatening sanctions. If these two big power blocs try and take action against Turkey, do you care? Will it change your behavior?
No, we're absolutely determined to go on with this operation. We said that, we have two objectives, if you'd let me finish. One is to create a safe zone so that it is free from terrorists. That includes YPG, PKK, as well as ISIS, so that they no longer constitute a threat to us. Because right now they've dug tunnels under our border, and they're using these tunnels to stage attacks against our people and armed forces in our country. That's the one thing. The second thing is we are hosting 4 million Syrian refugees. We have taken the brunt of this more than any other country in the world. And we would like at least 2 million of these refugees to be able to be resettled, which is why we're creating a safe zone. Now, in principle, the Americans agreed on the safe zone. We tried to establish it with them, but it has actually been going very slow. And unfortunately, the military bureaucracy in America have not been able to disengage themselves from the YPG. And this has actually exacerbated the national security threat to us. So we were in no position to wait any longer. And that's why we had to undertake this operation. And we've been saying that this is what is going to happen for years now. I mean, you cannot fight one terror group by arming another terror group. It was bound to hit a wall, this policy of the United States, which started in the previous administration. And right now, what's happening in America is our national security is becoming political fodder for the political situation there. As for the Europeans, for years, they've actually been just been more sympathetic to this terrorist organization without looking at the facts that, you know, we do care about the Kurds in Syria. Look, we've already done 2 operations in North Syria, and we have put Kurds in councils. We've ensured that Kurds return into councils where the population there was predominantly Kurdish. We have a priority here of actually not changing the demographics of that area.
I'm